And we are live with the third game of the day, straight into the quarterfinals. We've got Team Bizarre facing off against Netflix and Chill. We're getting some very, very familiar names from last week, so this is where it all comes down to who these top 16 will be consistently. And I think the names are starting to show here as well. First picks and first bans coming through. Giannis off the table, and now Sun Wukong, the second ban out.
Indeed, and I mean, this is one of those things where these bans are so planned out for these teams that most teams are like, okay, we know what we don't want to deal with, and unless for some reason Team Bizarre banned out what Netflix and Chill wanted to ban, they then take a moment to think and go, okay, what? It happens almost instantly where it's, I want this, I want this, I want this. They don't take any time to think about it. They just ban. And then you hit the picks, and we start thinking. Although, Team Bizarre didn't think, AiurZ still picked up ISIS almost immediately.
Especially coming into like the round of 16, we're at the teams where if they're in the Challengers Cup, they're usually those teams that aren't like 1 week, one and done. They're the teams that are serious about really wanting to go for that SPL level stretch here. So these are the guys who have sat down, looked at their picks and bans, especially considering the names on Netflix and Chill. And Team Bizarre, they're no strangers to these top pickups here. See Thor and Ymir lock in for them as well. And now Bellona also is the lock in for Netflix and Chill.
And Netflix and Chill, Freya, and Bellona. So this is going to be our first Freya pickup of today. We've seen her banned out a lot of times in that secondary ban phase, but, well, you can't ban her in the second phase if she's picked in the first. So we are going to see enQu picking her up. Now we're waiting on Kuresento for the last pick of the first pick phase. I'd like to see maybe a mid lane here. Okay, we're going to go for the support. So Kuresento is going to be locking in Athena here. And now, because this is EU, the home of Ymir jungle, we could maybe see another support ban here from Netflix and Chill, because Team Bizarre does only have that Ymir so far.
They've only got
Thor is here,
Ymir,
so Ymir may be more of a solo pick if they pick him there, which still
you got Thor and Ymir, but honestly, we've seen both work out in these super flexible roles, but I think this one's fairly defined. Like, see, we're going to see a jungle ban out actually in the form of Thanatos from Netflix and Chill, so they're on to something we're not quite sure about, it seems here, is, well, they took out a jungler there.
I mean, and again, we don't know. We don't know if these teams scrim together. You know, that's, again, information that I haven't gone into depth with asking anybody for. I also don't know who I would ask, because saying, hey, do you guys scrim doesn't always work. But Agni ban out here by Team Bizarre as well.
Yeah, taking away a mid laner and a stable one at that. No surprise to see Agni taken off the table, especially with Giannis already gone. That leaves open Isis, who can be played around Ra as well as the Hoveron, and despite some of the interesting things he has going on, he's a definitely potential pick here, but Netflix and Chill got options here. They have the AoE line damage from Ra with that can sustain, as well as some fairly consistent and consistent damage. His beams have no cooldown. Nuwa, though, is another one. I'm just going to hold off a bit until they actually go ahead and lock something in here, though, because they have plenty of options.
The stream. Oh, fine. Pick Nuwa after I say we're going to wait. So Nuwa does get locked in here by Netflix and Chill. Now we do have the solo lane and the hunter to pick from. Now, no hunter bans. Freya, the only hunter pick so far. And now Team Bizarre has to decide what they want to use to deal with the Freya.
I mean, they've got their pick of the litter here. They can go for a very, very aggressive early game ADC if they want to, and try to shut out the Freya. Or they can try to beat Netflix and Chill at their own game and look at something like a Shibalanke as well. Neat, however, going to be hovered on, but I think once again it's going to bounce around for a bit, because it looks like they want to go for somebody to pressure the Freya early, though.
Yeah, and currently hover for Axioz on for that solo lane is Osiris, and we are going to see Ram and Osiris locked in at exactly the same time. So that, and there's the Ram pick as well. And now we are just left over to the last pick, solo lane option.
I mean, at this point, with what we've seen this entire tournament, we could see anything come out of solo lane at this point. Loki being hovered on as an assassin pickup for the solo lane. I'd love to see some assassins who can come back into this current setup here. And, well, with some of what Team Bizarre has packed in here, especially with the Isis and the Ram, you've got ways to get into this with Assassin Loki, but they've already got a pretty solid front line outside of Netflix and Chill, so they could go for it quite easily if they want to.
Yeah, on this actually, excuse me, Bellona solo most likely, Loki jungle would be the best bet here. Bellona does do reasonably well against Osiris. Osiris can clear without basic attacks, but again, Bellona annoying enough, and we will be seeing Thor in the jungle. I like Thor's matchup against Loki in terms of junglers. Loki sure has the assassination potential, but Thor's ultimate, Anvil of Dawn, so much AoE damage, so much damage in general, so much pressure. Loki's ultimate, scary, but that's it.
It's such a hidden threat from the jungle, too, that it's going to force Netflix and Chill to really play either super proactive with their wording game to avoid the potential Thor dunks from the jungle, because there are some very popular spots where a Thor will ulti from, or just play it rather safe early on, or just be really, really good and never, ever get into a position where it would really hurt them. But Thor always has the potential for turning a fight into a 2v3, a 1v2, or any number of mismatched odds there, and getting stunned out of the bat with it either, that's not something you want to have experiencing. So, either way, that Thor is a major danger for, well, unfortunately for Netflix and Chill.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting composition. We'll go over it again once we get into the game with the players and their specific roles. Thank you everyone for tuning in, though. This, of course, is the EU Challenger Cup quarterfinals, so round of 8, between Team Bizarre and Netflix and Chill. We do need to wait for the spectator client to finish its anti-ghosting counting down. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, so we will join you on the other side.
And we're live with the game coming from the quarterfinals here in a game brought to you by, hosted by Tier Monster and hi-rez here. Target, you have been waiting for me to mess that one up, and I blame you completely for that.
I have not been waiting for you to mess it up. You
have been harassing me about it behind the scenes, and well played, Target. You win. I
didn't even harass you about it. So, anyways, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the quarterfinals match here. Oh, okay, I was wrong. I thought that it was Bellona solo, Loki jungle.
No, I mean, I feel like that could be a better matchup here for Loki. Yeah, they both make sense, but I honestly like Loki's split push potential from the solo lane a lot more, as well as his farm potential. He just has to play a very, very, very safe landing phase versus Osiris, hang back a little bit, and just wait till he gets to the point where he can really abuse his wave clear. So, it'll be a rough start for him, but I feel in the end, the split push potential out of him is going to be more than enough to make up for it.
Definitely, though. Darkyodk looking for a possible invade here. He and Osiris are looking for it. Bellona and Loki, if they're going for clear build, which, you know, okay, that's why you wait to invade. You wait for them to start up. Have a hard time dealing with you invading here. And if they've taken, you know, the decoy and, well, actually anything for Bellona. Bellona does have a hard time outside of leveling Scourge, and they're just going to get pushed back.
Yeah, they're going to get pushed back and actually harassed completely there. As AiurZ actually pick up the first kill of the fight on a proxy QQ right there. And that's exactly what Bizarre wants, especially onto AiurZ on that Isis right there. He's going to be such a huge bully early on here, and he just stands between Kuresento and the wave right there. There's nothing he can do right now as the stun ball comes out. Falls a bit short, but AiurZ with a little bit of early bully and domination here.
Well, we still got a fight over in the jungle. Zindurn was able to keep a hold of his speed buff. Problem is that was the only...
Bad idea.
That stun ball.
Stun ball. Gonna find him. Wing gust coming through. This could be 2 for AiurZ. He misses the final wing gust shot, but the auto attacks are good. AiurZ picks up his second kill of the game, and just like that, he's on his way back to lane. This is going to be a massive monster to deal with, and Isis is going to skyrocket right past that little mid-game slump quite nicely.
Yep, and over in the dual lane, we're going to see, again, there was an invasion over, well, as we saw, but then we saw Yoyojojo and Etakse for our dual lane, Rama and Ymir. They were able to take that attack speed buff as well. So mid-camp's just not being started. I do believe Nuwa was able to take the 1, and she is level 3. The left side camp, she is now level 3. However, all of Team Bizarre's buffs have not been taken yet. They're all still waiting, meaning that there's a lot of golden experience for either team. So if Loki can get into the backline and steal away the blue buff, or if Bellona can go in, or if Kuresento can go in, there are plenty of options to try and refill their pockets over on Netflix and Chill. Though Bizarre has the option as well.
Yeah, Bizarre have a lot of good options here, especially having able, for all intents and purposes, a fed mid laner. The silence will connect right into the Spirit Ball as well. This is going to be bad for Kuresento right there. Wing Gust not going to find that final shot, but he's 1 auto away. A great body block from Zindurn will actually buy his teammate's life right there. And AiurZ forced back here as Darkyodk forced away as well. So they're just going to simply back off and let Zindurn have his victory for today.
Well, it's a very, very small victory, but a victory nonetheless.
You take him where you can get him when you're behind.
Exactly. So Zindurn sitting at level 2, Darkyodk sitting at level 3, almost level 4, and AiurZ is, well, he's got his wings up in the air as he is currently partying at level 5. Gonna go do speed buff for Darkyodk, and they are feeling quite happy about that. Axioz is actually slightly behind FleXy in about half a level.
Axioz seems to be having a bit of a rough time here against FleXy here. FleXy just not giving him any real opportunity to get in these lanes, and I kind of want to say this is just a runoff of the early fighting going on, but that's just kind of bleeding over to everywhere, even the duo lane right now, so you can't really blame one lane on that one here, as Darkyodk will make his way back to the lane. Quick farm up as well, but otherwise, I think we're going to see things slow down a tiny bit, as finally the jungle camp's being cleared out completely for Team Bizarre. Only the blue buff remains, and actually AiurZ ignoring the red buff right there and just letting it go down.
So there's a pause. I'm gonna go ahead and ask the admins really quickly about. So that's unfortunate for AiurZ. DCing there, not being able to get to that red buff. Something up. He's back in. Never mind. So
yeah, still losing that red buff is gonna be a rough upset there. But considering the fact that he's got 2 kills to his name right now, I think it's going to be more of one of those major annoyances and an actual problem for him at this point.
Indeed. I'm not quite sure why it's this game on pauses in 3. We may be in some form of stasis mode, so we're just going to pause the game ourselves for a moment. Really quickly, though, interesting things to note is everybody on Netflix and Chill, sans Loki, and Bellona have beads now. They're all level 1, but they all have beads in some form. They either bought them on their first back after they invade, or they had them from the beginning. So it's going to be difficult for Team Bizarre to get something right off the bat, but once they can clear those beads, it'll be easier for them to get pressure as well. So we're going to go ahead and try.
The thing going in Bizarre's favor, though, is the fact that Team Bizarre has so many aggressive forms of crowd control. You've got the Spirit Ball as a long-range AoE stun tool. You have a Thor Wall, which doubles as an AoE stun. You've got the Anvil of Dawn as well, 2 AoE stuns coming out from there. Axioz does have that threat of an AoE stun as well from his tether, not to mention the damage reduction, like you said, target, as well as several heavy-duty slows. Yoyojojo on that Rama as well. He's going to be packing a ton of slows from his astral arrows, and well, a cripple followed by his cripple. That's going to lock somebody down quite effectively. And well, we can't just mention aggressive CC without mentioning Etakse. How do you want to say this one, Target?
Who?
Etakse? We can just call him ETA.
I'm calling him Etakse.
Etakse. No, we settled on that one.
There we go.
Etakse does. Yeah, alright. So as we go back in the game, you can't talk about aggressive CC without mentioning Etakse playing Ymir here, who that freeze is one of the very early aggressive forms of CC, and one of the major ones brought into Smite at a very young age.
Apologies once again for all of my typing, but I told an admin, hey, nothing's working, we might need to go spectate another game, and I guess the server said, no, please, don't leave me, and so it fixed itself as soon as that happened. But
yeah, I mean, we have to continue the trend of good games, Tark.
Yeah, good games, and I mean, to be honest, we were looking at the chart, and the only game we couldn't cast was the one that we didn't feel comfortable with casting necessarily, was the Poppies match in this round, because we didn't want to cast the same team twice. Because they were all so good, it was like, well, let's just cast. There's 16 teams right now, all of which are very, very making very good cases, I should say, for a round or for a top 8 position, if not even a top 4. So, of course, 16 is greater than 8 and 4, so I mean, we have to watch them fight it out to get down.
These 16 teams are the teams you're going to see week in and week out fighting over that group stage spot in the Challengers Cup. Is now Ecstasy. Etakse going to be caught out quite nicely there, but he turns it back and said Kuresento actually waiting for Athena to crash land. AiurZ does get a great dodge off though, his new Wago Skyboard. One more Wing Gust will do it, but he's out of charges. Silence will connect him to Zindurn there, right into the stun as well, as Darkyodk does crash land, finding enQu in the back. A quick Eagles rally onto his head will catch him out, but a quick shield back will secure the kill for Zindurn, as Axioz actually going to find a kill of his own Spirit Ball, falling just a minute short onto a target known as Kuresento right there, as FleXy sneaks in, gets a quick assassinate, and walks away with the kill, but not for free, as Axioz picks up another one. We're going to see big kills going onto everybody important. There is now 2 onto AiurZ, 2 onto Axioz, and all the carries, save for Yoyojojo. getting big right here.
Yoyojojo, not too bad. 002. He's working on getting his stacks up. Proxy QQ on Freya has yet to be able, excuse me, to buy Hasten Vital, sitting on 600 gold. He's close, but not quite there just yet. So there's that spike. Loki did just buy his Transcendence, so that's good for him. But beyond that, Team Bazaar sitting in a very, very good spot, and Netflix and Chill not looking. You know, we joked last week about how they actually did look like they were just kind of Netflixing at first, and then about 15 minutes in, they were like, "Hey, do you want to like, you know, we're gonna start trying to kill all of you now." Except Team Bazaar kind of skipped the Netflix part and decided to go straight to murder. As Axioz in a bit of trouble though over in the solo lane, as Zindurn and FleXy are pushing him in a little bit. Of course, Etakse is going to get the kill on Proxy QQ over in the duo lane, while Kuresento just kind of does his red buff.
Not to mention Zindurn also getting picked up by AiurZ right there. We're going to see a bit of a missed dunk there from Darkyodk, but FleXy still needs to leverage his sneaky powers right there. I don't think he can pull the same right here as he gets caught by a wall, pulled right in the middle of nowhere, but last second stealth save. We're getting the extra bit of movement speed boost, sneak on out the backside of that wall. We're going to see him make a quick escape on the side of FleXy there, but Team Bazaar starting up a fight and beginning their bizarre adventures for JoJo right now, it seems. They're not going to let up in the slightest. Netflix and Chill, they got to skip past that chill phase as soon as possible and start hitting those mid-game power spikes, which we will see Freya hitting a major one soon once she gets those pen boots online.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see where all that does go from here. Something to note is we did see a Soul Stone on Freya. Soul Stone, good on Freya, basic attack based, wonderful, and when she procs her pulse, it applies to all the pulses, etc. However, yeah, there's no sustain. Soul Stone, one of those items that's often better on gods with self-sustain in some manner, or at least starting with some sort of trinket for a little bit of healing at least. But with no sustain, no mana, or excuse me, with a little bit of mana regen. Beyond that, Fred, base lifesteal, I don't know in comparison to the Vampiric Shroud necessarily if it's the best start for her. Put it that way.
It's a bit more aggressive, I feel, than the Vamp Shroud right there, but so far it's not working out too heavily as right now Proxy QQ, yeah, Proxy QQ is 2 deaths down, and that's going to be hurting him so much in this laning phase. Also, Team Bazaar trying to absolutely bully him in this duo as well. Thanks to those early kills, they got a quick freeze onto enQu. Will do its work as we'll see Thor go skyboard. Darkyodk ready to dunk after Athena does her crash land. Instead, goes for Kuresento right there, sitting in the fog as Axioz will kill FleXy off on the backside of the map. They're going for that cross-map synergy, but Team Bazaar not quite able to adventure anywhere just yet.
Yeah, so Darkyodk, good dunk there on a Kuresento, able to just get out of there, and we're gonna go back to clearing the wave just a little bit. Kuresento looking for a stun, not quite hitting it. There's the double tap though. Actually, no, the backswing does miss from Kuresento. Good little bit of a juke there, and now we're going to see Team Bazaar considering the Gold Fury. Actually, yes, as Rama does start it up.
And they've got a good catch too. Yeah, they've got a good flank here too. They know they want to come to the entrance, and we will see Team Bazaar spot out Netflix and Chill coming through. Etakse goes on him for the blink freeze, finds enQu. enQu going to get shredded and demolished by Yoyojojo. Now Zindurn will go for the Eagles rally, but he's not catching anybody there. All the shots will miss as Kuresento finishes off JoJo right there. Skyborn goes Proxy. He finds his first kill of the game, which is going to be a big thing for him as AiurZ starts firing off wing gusts after wing gusts, only to be met with a banish. FleXy will make them suffer for that attempt right there, as now Axioz, the only one to walk away here, along with Etakse right there, going to be fine and dandy, but Netflix and Chill, well, they stopped the chill phase. They're going for some early return kills here.
Well, we're about 10 minutes. I don't know if we can
early for the Netflix
return kills.
Early for them,
maybe. But you know, interesting turnaround there, and that's Netflix and Chill saying, look, we've hit our necessary power spike, you know, or we're starting to hit our stride at least, in terms of levels alone. Bellona now does have her heavy hammer online, which is arguably a requirement on a jungle Bellona, because you know she needs to catch you, compared to Soul Lane where she just kind of fights you always. Loki is doing Loki things now, quite frankly. And I mean, even though he did lose his tower to Osiris, it's a Loki. He doesn't care. He can take Osiris' tower in a wave or two, no problem, as he does have that Transcendence stacked up across the board. Again, Nuwa doesn't hit a true mid-game slump like Isis does. Nuwa just gets better. So she's got 3 damage-dealing abilities plus an ultimate, and they all scale quite nicely. Axioz and Darkyodk looking for something. Axioz taking advantage of that passive, being able to walk right through Thor's wall. Hey, why not? Although Axioz continuing to go aggressive here, is going to get the stun onto Zindurn, but that is it. Mid lane, actually, a bit of a fight as well. That one's disengaging. Back over to FleXy as Darkyodk channels his ultimate as well.
Yeah, Darkyodk goes Mirror Airborne right as enQu arrives. Caught in the double tap right there. Darkyodk will secure the kill, but at what cost? Slam Jam coming down to the Darkyodk with a quick dunk. Axioz channels his tether. He's going to try to find what he can. So goes down. Isis heals up Axioz right there. And AiurZ and Axioz showing that husband-wife synergy in the form of their gods, at least. So that is exactly what you don't want there, kids. That hidden passive, apparently, is now we will see Etakse land a great wall there onto Zindurn right there, blocking off all escape. Stunball connects. Axioz finishes him off, and the Wing Gust doing so much damage. Kuresento in so much trouble, and a quick auto attack from AiurZ will turn this fight completely on its head as Team Bizarre walk out ahead in the end. A 3-for-1 exchange, I believe.
Yeah, it was huge. And the
because enQu died earlier in the fight.
Yeah, and the biggest thing here is, well, Proxy QQ gonna get blown. Oh no, perfect timing there with the ultimate. Valkyrie's Discretion going to keep him alive for now, as Yoyojojo continuing to poke the tower. Tower should be dead in the next wave or so. Really quickly though, something else to note is that because of Isis's Funeral Rites passive, she is going to be sitting pretty on that HP 5 now, and her teammates around her will be quite enjoying that as well. And again, her passive is for her own teammates dying too, so she was there as, you know, as people fall. She doesn't care if they're, I mean, she cares if they're teammates because you obviously don't want your teammates to die. The passive doesn't care if they're teammates or opponents, as long as she's in the area.
I mean, I think the player cares if it's a teammate that dies sometimes, but, you know, the god itself, I think it's an unfeeling monstrosity, especially something that does so much damage with all these items right now, and it would almost completely nullify that mid-game slump with having those pen boots and a Bancross Talon. AiurZ is going to be shredding people right now in these fights, especially considering the fact that he's got a solid level advantage over most people will be fighting, aside from FleXy, who he just needs to play keep away from.
So, you know, and again, Kuresento, equal level as AiurZ, but AiurZ is sitting a solid 1,000 gold almost ahead, so doing quite nicely there. And also, because AiurZ was forced into more actives earlier, they've had some awkward spikes there. So Loki is looking for something, but I think Thor,
mostly avoiding Darkyodk right there. Well, Darkyodk looked for a dunk, couldn't find it, but now he still found his fish completely out of water right there as FleXy not flexible enough and does get caught out of position here. Team Bizarre looking to force the hand of Netflix and Chill here by starting up the Gold Fury, and it might just work. They've got a potential for a flanker from Axioz, but he's drawing their attention. They have to pay attention to him on the side of Netflix and Chill. He's walking around that flank, as we will see Darkyodk doing with the zone. Certain pressure goes down for the secure. Bizarre gets the Gold Fury. Now Proxy caught alone, goes to the Valkyrie's Discretion. He's raining shots, but it's not nearly enough. Yoyojojo hangs back a bit for the damage as enQu looks to land. A 3-man stun for Zindurn. That's going to be a great Scourge doing lots of work, but the ultimate is still there for the carry, Yoyojojo. A surrender vote goes up, but that's more of a frustration one, it seems. It looks like Team Bizarre are completely decimating Netflix and Chill here. A 7,000 gold lead, and an even bigger experience one as they shred through the first tower of the game. And it looks like they show no signs of stopping. Yeah, second there, my bad. All Sometimes you forget solo lane exists.
And so that's just it. It's the first non-solo lane tower. And as much as we don't want to say, oh, solo lane doesn't matter, the thing is that the solo lane tower will often slip away, and nobody will care except for, in this case, FleXy, when he goes to try and dive back under his tower to survive when Axioz is diving him, and then realizes he can't.
It's one of those towers. It's one of those towers you can actually. I hate to say like afford to lose a tower in fight, but it's one of those towers you can afford to lose early, as you're not giving up too much map pressure at all.
It doesn't matter until late.
Yeah, you lose a mid lane tower, you lose pressure on the Gold Fury side, you lose pressure on your own jungle, you lose the Fire Giant side. Whereas if you just lose your tower on the solo side, you lose a bit of Fire Giant pressure early game.
Which
if you lose your duo tower, you lose a ton of map pressure on your side of the jungle as well, and those mid towers are just so devastating to lose as well. So it's one of those reasons
towers are now gone.
Yeah, it's one of those reasons you just tend to forget that you lose those towers, and now Netflix and Chill, they're pushed back deep into their own jungle right now, and Team Bizarre, they've shown signs of being able to abuse that. Can they give the pressure and just keep Netflix and Chill down, or will we see that Netflix and Chill comeback we saw last week? As they just sort of turned on about now, but I think things are too rough for them right here. It seems bizarre. They've got a comp that'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, there is the concern about, we are going to see Ymir going in, Kuresento going to try and get the stun, but there are the beats there as well. Kuresento going up into the air, and he is going to the ultimate as well. Thor's up and also Etakse going down. Beautiful combination there, as Ymir is going to get the kill with the detonation of the shot device. Good use of that curse as well. They are looking for more good advantage there on the air. Loki's in the backline. FleXy going to finish up Darkyodk. And now we're going to see the turnaround from Netflix and Chill. Though, actually, we're going to see Proxy QQ getting shredded at the top side as Yoyojojo does show up. Valkyrie's Discretion not doing enough damage just yet.
Yeah, Valkyrie's Discretion not nearly where it needs to be. Those pen boots just came to mind, and Axioz still wants to fight. He leaps in with the Lord of the Afterlife. Every shot from Jojo going to hit. Now enQu on the run as Jojo takes his double kill. Axioz secured. You thought Jojo would get the triple kill, but it was him, Axioz, instead, who picks it up. Well, the kill.
That's 22-7. Now this is a game where last game, kills were unbalanced, and it was still a very close game. But this is a game now, 22-7, 16,500 XP, 10,000 gold. Team Bizarre firmly in the driver's seat right now, and I honestly don't know where things went wrong for Netflix and Chill. Team Bizarre.
It was that early invade.
I mean,
that early invade just went so south for them. Like, especially giving up 2 kills to an Isis. That is almost a death sentence for somebody playing against an Isis. It prevented Kuresento from just unfortunately prevented him from getting any kind of pressure in this map. He was locked out of the game entirely, and AiurZ completely leveraged those kills and really worked them for him. At the same time, the dual lane just snowballed away as Proxy QQ ended up dying twice. You cannot afford to give up that much of an advantage as a Freya, unless it's only just you give up that advantage and you know you can farm back up. But unfortunately, Bizarre found advantages all over the map, so Proxy QQ has no way to safely farm. He can't come back from that, and it's just been a snowball and a cascade failure from there.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can certainly see that. I think it was just more that, like, when did it go so wrong as a Darkyodk looking to try and hurt Loki here. And when you have a Loki getting ganked solo, or just having it's Loki v Thor, and Thor doesn't care, that's huge. Etakse is here, going to see the new ultimate for Vision, and FleXy's going to duck, dodge, and weave. Zindurn here as well. We are going to see the freeze miss, but there's an Isis, and I think they know that Loki is the only person left that they need to be worried about, even though he is 4 levels behind. Oh, ultimate use there, but as I was saying, 4 levels behind Osiris, but he is also still the highest level on his team and the only one with any true damage items, kind of.
Yeah, and even then, they're able to just completely negate any pressure he can get. He can maybe look for assassinations, but Team Bizarre has so many ways to blow him up once he enters a fight. AiurZ has reached that point where on Isis he can just completely keep him at an arm's length away, use that wing gust for safety. He's got the beads on the line as well now, so there's really no touching in these fights. And even if you do get him bead, Shell, you can no longer burn into him that easily. And I actually really like the Shell pickup on him, as he's the one who's going to get jumped on most of the time. He's in that position to really play that group support as well as that pressure here, and that Shell really fits in the role that he's playing in his team. Definitely. That hybrid carry Isis, who's carrying hard of their damage, but needs to have that safety of a Shell.
Axioz TPing over to the right-hand side, saying, no, you don't get this tower just yet, which I find very interesting, because they could have probably taken this Gold Fury and then saved that teleport.
It's a root.
But
he's just trying to take attention away from the Gold Fury right now by showing presence in that right lane right there. They think that they might be attempting something over there, especially with the teleport being blown, and really, you don't expect a team to go for a major objective without a teleport available or without somebody around, but now Proxy QQ going to pay the price for this, stunned out by an Anvil of the Dawn, going to use that Valkyrie's Discretion, knowing that it'll probably be back up by the time he needs it again, but in the end, he will still fall to AiurZ right there, and now Kuresento might get flanked out here, will land the root, stunned to fall up on the Etakse right there. He is still in a bit of a rough spot, though. Double tap, not connecting, but he does actually get in range. However, the stun falls short here. We see Kuresento go Skyborn, rain some shards down from above, but the solo lane fight is where it's at. Axioz shredding through the health bar of enQu right there. He is ripping him to shreds, and the tether will connect soon enough. There we go. Another surrender vote coming out, and this time, I think it might have some merit here, as now Netflix and Chill. It's a rough spot to come back from. Team Bizarre around the Fire Giant. They'll take the game at 20 minutes in. 24-7, and in the first snowball of the tournament, we see them take away one of the most commanding games we've seen this entire tournament.
That was very impressive, and I hate to Not I hate to agree with you, but I was thinking that they could come back from it at the beginning. There was that early invade, and I thought, okay, it's rough. They're a little bit offset. They can come through and go. But originally, you know, and then I was like, okay, well, where did they go wrong? But then the more that you talked about it, the more that we looked at it, you were right. They never were able to get on their feet. Athena didn't even build into a sovereignty or a heart ward. He went Mail of Renewal first, which I do not understand why you would do that as an Athena who's behind. Sure, you got 4 assists, but most of those assists came before he even had the Mail of Renewal finished. So, it's unfortunate. And yes, they had a great late game. Ymir and Thor fall off a little bit at the very end, but not a whole lot. And when they're ahead, there's no such thing as falling off. So that's going to be the end of that. And I do have to agree, Team Bizarre, you know, again, this could have been an interesting best of 3, because what would have happened if Netflix and Chill were ready for an invasion? Especially a double invade.
Basically went full Mike Tyson here. They went balls to the wall right off the bat. Netflix and Chill, we've seen them last week. We know they're a good team. Team Bizarre knows this as well. They're going to go straight to the wall. They're going to push you to the ropes. They're going to start punching, and they're not going to stop punching until you are on the ground. And even when Netflix and Chill, like I said, they had a great late-game team comp, but Team Bizarre never let off. And that's one of the reasons why Netflix and Chill were never able to get back off the ground.
Definitely. So with that said, we're not quite sure where we're going next. We might be doing another quarterfinals, though I doubt it. I'm pretty sure all those games have started, in which case we're going to drop you guys some wonderful music, and we'll be back with the semifinals as soon as possible. We will give you some updates along the way as games do finish, however, just because we do recognize this was a very, very short match. So thank you all for tuning in. We certainly do appreciate it. This is the European Challengers Cup, looking into go towards the semifinals. My name is mTarget, joined by the wonderful Souza, and we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere.